Stonehenge is the control panel for the Great Pyramid. After the destruction of Atlantis, it was necessary to build a womb and a sword, the womb being Avery and the sword being the Great Pyramid of Giza. In between those two, you have the control panel, which is Stonehenge. That is why near here they built this wood henge to first practice how they could actually monitor the tip and tilt of Earth. Every time that we explode a nuclear weapon, or like in June 2nd, we will be exploding a 700-ton megaton bomb near Las Vegas. This puts a ripple in the grid. So near Stonehenge, you will now see another crop circle, which will bring balance to this whole grid of Mother Earth. This is why so many crop circles appear around this control panel. But the point we're making here, and we'll repeat this many times, is you have the womb in Avery, the control panel in Stonehenge, and way down in Egypt you have the actual sword, which creates an antenna system that was designed to put balance into the grid. Just a note here before we go on. Why do we know this? History will tell us that the end of the millennium, on December 31st, 1999, the people in charge, like George Bush, decided to put a capstone on the Great Pyramid. They knew that this was the antenna system that could control the whole grid. Then Tony Blair and his friends in Britain built a hideous dome in London's harbour called the Millennium Dome. This is nothing but an antenna representing Stonehenge. That is why, after looking at the grid and understanding how to control the grid on the planet, this is why the Millennium Dome was built and the attempt to put the capstone on the Great Pyramid. What is important here is it did not happen. But what would have been sad if it would have happened, because it would have put a surge of energy through the Earth and given us Y2K in a big time. Here are the two different types of stones that were used in Stonehenge. The bigger stone was quarried at Avery and brought down here some 30 miles. Blue stones were quarried in Wales. It doesn't matter how and what time they were quarried. What matters here is they needed a difference in the electricity in the stones. Remember, Stonehenge is the control panel, and they needed the electrical difference in the electrical frequency. On the top, they would put something like the Ark of the Covenant, and this way they could send a signal down to the Great Pyramid, and as they rolled a vortex generator like a Tesla coil up the Grand Gallery, they could actually tip and tilt the Earth with this big antenna system. After the destruction of Atlantis, we cracked the Earth, and it was wobbling like a tire wobbles on a car. Eventually, the Earth would have been thrown out of orbit if they had not done this. Here is a simple picture of a crop circle in front of Stonehenge. Many of these crop circles appear yearly because of the emotions that the people on Earth have created. And constantly you have to remember Mother Earth is a living being, and she cries for us. But she has a system that she can talk to the divas, the fairies, the angels, the Knights Templar, ETs. They all come to her aid, and in this way she can balance her grid to try to save our lives. But if we continue in the fashion of using war and the war on terror, even she will have to give up on us. So it is time that we all learned how to use this energy to make her happy and to bring peace and love to the planet.
During the time just after the destruction of Atlantis, the Earth was cracked by man's inability to control his ego and negative emotions. This same condition exists today. That is why the weather is out of control. The orbit of the Earth around the Sun is being changed by these same conditions. Back then, the Brotherhood and ETs came to humanity's help and offered to rebuild the damaged planet. To do this, it was necessary to re-establish the polarity that had been destroyed. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built as an antenna system to stabilize the orbit of the planet and to rebalance its polarity. It is important to understand the pyramid is an antenna system, and that Stonehenge is a control panel for this antenna system. That is why hundreds of crop circles appear yearly around Stonehenge and the surrounding area. As the US military and others bomb Afghanistan and Iraq, it also fractures the balance within the grid. So the more the planet is fractured, the more the crop circles appear, to create a positive balance. As our weather patterns create huge hurricanes and tornadoes, it is necessary for the ETs and the White Brotherhood to create crop circles to again balance this antenna system.